Last video log I talked about that I would talk about the hearing against the VUmc Janet team in the next vlog. Well, this is the next vlog, so I think I'll talk about it. Well, I did write about it on my regular blog as well, and basically it wasn't as bad as I had feared it would be. It was quite positive. I also wore this outfit to there on a related note. So I went a bit for the formal style. Of course feminine. Well, the factual details I've put on my blog, of course, so I will not repeat those. What I do want to talk about is more about my, well, feelings, I guess, because just being there, I hadn't really thought about it much or prepared for it mentally. But of course, this hearing was also the first big confrontation for me with all those people from the Janet team as a whole, of about 9 years time, because I went to the Janet team in Amsterdam first time in 2005. Last time I think that must have been somewhere in 2008 or thereabouts. And seeing all those people from those times, it was interesting. They were, well, at least some of them I didn't really recognize. I mean, first of all, the radiologist from Laasbergen, I didn't recognize him at all because I'd never seen him. I just had read his reports on the, well, he had basically interpreted my MRI scans and judged them to be completely free of any kind of indication that I might conceivably be intersex. And which he repeated, of course, there during the hearing. That's, well, there was no, he didn't see anything, no internal female organs or anything, nothing. So it was pretty much a repeat of everything which had been told to me during all those years I spent at the VUmc. They just kept repeating it. But what I did like was how the commission, which presided over the hearing, consisting out of the two physicians I mentioned and two psychologists, they were good. They managed to actually make the VUmc team kind of, well, retreat on the words or rephrase things, because they, for example, stated that, well, I couldn't be intersex because they'd never seen a condition like mine in the literature, so I couldn't exist. They, of course, had to retreat on that one because it's a bit silly. I mean, otherwise, if we'd stopped writing new conditions, medical conditions in the literature, then it wouldn't have had a lot right now if it stopped doing that around the 17th century. So, I don't know whether it's actually going to result in anything, this hearing. As I mentioned in the blog, it's the ruling will be on November the 19th. I'll know the results the 20th, and depending on the results, I will either have a case to take to the regular courts and actually get some well, compensation for 9 years of suffering, or not. But, well, I really hope that there is something, I mean, but pretty much as I, with my closing statements at the hearing, as I put it there, I mean, the justice system in the Netherlands, the justice there, they have, on 2 separate occasions, they have found me to be feminine looking when I got my first name changed. and they found me to be a hermaphrodite. So specifically having both male and female genitals based on German medical results, thereby indicating that, well, that I am intersex, specifically hermaphrodites, and also that Germany has good physicians who know what they're doing, which kind of left me wondering there at the hearing, basically saying, well, I'm totally confused here because we've got those saying this, both Dutch and German imported organs people, and then we've got the medical system here in the Netherlands saying something completely different. Right? So I have no idea how this is going to work out, but it was an interesting confrontation. I'm glad it's over with, because it's something I've been living towards for so many years, really. Yeah, I wanted to do this video earlier than this, but stuff happened, as I wrote about, the destruction of all my property by a psychopathic, I think that's a word I can actually use here correctly, psychopathic former housemate who destroyed everything I owned after kicking me out of the house earlier this year. So, well, it's going to be a very cheap move to Germany now, because everything fits into a very small van. Well, I've got clothes, I've got laptops. I'm out of thousands of euros worth of computer equipment, and the last physical, tangible remains of my youth and other things which people might consider important, but right. It kind of connects with the whole VUmc and general Dutch medical situation I've been involved with for years, because, I mean, I can understand that people didn't recognize my condition before I acknowledged it, because Netherlands isn't very advanced when it comes to rare medical conditions. That's something to be expected. My environment didn't know about the intersex. I mean, I didn't even know it existed until 2005, thereabouts. So, I don't blame anyone there. I can understand that. I mean, I can blame anyone for that I have been born intersex. But the questions of why did it have to be treated like this? Why did they have to do that to me? They do arise when it comes to the treatment by gender teams by hospitals here in the Netherlands. They have taken away about 10 years of my life. They have given me a lot of traumatic disorders, and they, as you can see, they've not made me a very happy person. This is where they have failed in their mission to actually improve the life of a patient. The guy who raped me was my first intimate sexual experience. Why? Well, that one is probably easier to answer, because, I mean, some guys just really are pigs. But why does a physician do that? Why would a physician not listen to a patient? Why would a physician try to basically insist that he is right, even though it should be fairly obvious that he is wrong, even if they're contradicting evidence from other physicians and other physicians in another country or whatever. You don't. It's why. And then, well, I really, there are so many things about this country I just don't get, I guess. Why did the police have to actually mistreat me a couple of years ago? Why did they have to actually beat me to the point that I still have, well, right wrist still hurts? right knee still hurts a lot because of the beating they gave me. The psychological trauma from having been locked up in solitary for an entire night without knowing when I would be released. Why? I wasn't dangerous. I was just not very happy at the time. And yes, the destruction of my property, which left me with not much really. I mean, anything tangible from my past, pretty much all gone. I've never been able to actually establish something resembling normal sexuality, self-image. It's all been damaged and abused and corrupted. Everything that's happened to me. This month I will really start looking for a house, a home in Germany. I officially do not live in the Netherlands anymore. Not for about 2 weeks now. I'm no longer living in the country as the Netherlands, so that's good. Next video log, I will talk about finding a house in Germany more, about what I would expect from it, what I'm looking for, what I'm not looking for, and I hope that this month, with a bit of help from you people, other people, the great people at the German company I work for, that I can find that house and move and basically start anew. I think that's the right thing to do here. Until then.